Yes, of course we know him. We know him.
Honest man.
We know him.
He said
These people deliberately spread hatred against Muslims. They are known for that. They get paid for that, and that's why they don't answer questions. We know him. We know him.
No, you just keep brainwashed.
These people.
I wanted the answer. I wanted to know that God loved me. I wanted to know He forgave me. And the only path that I found where I can know that God really loved me and that He really forgave me was through Jesus Christ when I read the Bible. Now listen guys, listen. I know many of you don't agree with me. I know many of you feel that the Bible is not the Word of God. I know many of you feel that the Quran is the final way. And I understand, your parents taught you that, you came to believe that, and you know what? Most Christians would feel the exact same way. Not many people from both sides would actually be open-minded enough to actually give it a serious consideration. But you know what? For me, I don't really care who's right or wrong. I just want the truth. I was a young man, 16 years old. I just wanted to know that God loved me and I had a second chance. And I found that second chance in Jesus. So what makes me different than many people is I'm not afraid to admit that the Bible says women should cover their heads. In fact, I think that many Christian ladies are not following the Bible. That puts me in a minority camp in modern day Christianity. You know why? Because in this day and age, most Christians don't do this. So what? I just want the truth. I'm not afraid to admit that many Christians are not living after the pattern of Jesus. I don't care if Christians hate me for telling you the truth. If a Muslim says something that's true, I'll accept it because it's true. Okay? I don't care who's right or wrong. Well, obviously who's right. Whoever says the truth is the truth. And whoever says what's a lie is a lie. And so when I read the Bible and I read the Quran and I study the Quranic history and I study the biblical history, what I find out is one thing I love about the Bible is it explains things that the Quran doesn't explain. You know, I know with many Muslims there's many hadiths. There's authentic hadiths, and there's weak hadiths, and there's middle ground hadiths, and everybody's debating about what's the right sunnah or what's the right practice. It's very difficult. In fact, if you really want to be a full-fledged Muslim, from my understanding, you have to be really learned and studied. You have to read all the hadiths. And most of the average people that I speak to don't understand Arabic. They can recite it, they can maybe speak some of it, but they don't understand the words. And then they say, well, you know what? It's a very hard language because it's ancient Arabic. In fact, the modern day Qurans that you have vowel markers that are according to a certain reading in this part of the world, and many people understand it that way, but most people rely on the translations, the English translations. If you're English, or in the Urdu, sure, I'm not arguing. I rely on the English translations of the Bible. Right. If I was to read the Quran, I would rely on the English translation because I don't read Arabic. Really. I'm teaching myself Arabic. I know the alphabet, but I'm not an Arabic scholar. Okay, so you need to know that up front. I've read the Quran many times, and what I discover about the Quran versus the Bible is that many of the things that the Quran speaks about it's not explained. You need to go back to the biblical text to explain it. For instance, does any Muslim here know why there was a temple that God commanded them to build? How many Muslims can explain to me right now why there was a temple, why there is even a temple in Jerusalem today? Does anybody know? Raise your hand. This is where I'm asking you a question. Does any Muslim know why there's a temple in Jerusalem? Do you know? What's the reason?
The mosque, yeah? The mosque.
Okay, there's a mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque. I was actually there.
It's been built in 80 after the death of Muhammad.
Right. Yeah, so the mosque
80 years after.
Right, 80 years after they came to Jerusalem and many people became Muslim. Okay, but why was there a temple before? Do you know that there was a temple in Jerusalem before that? Does anybody that's a Muslim know why there was a temple? Okay, so this is what I mean. Does anybody know what the dietary law of the Torah really is? Because when I read the Quran, it only says that they were commanded to stay away from alcohol and from swine. But that's not true. Do you know what the full dietary law was? Not many Muslims know. Yeah, sure. The dietary law was more than just swine. It was anything that was considered unclean both in the sea and also in the land. So there was swine, there was... No, I'm talking about the Bible. No, I know, but it's not clear in the Quran, from my understanding. From what the Jewish people were... Okay, the blood. Yeah, you're right. I agree. So it talks about staying away from the blood, and the dead, and swine, and alcohol. Those four things. But the actual Torah doesn't say to stay away from alcohol. It does say to stay away from swine, things dead, and from blood. So I agree with that. But it doesn't give you the full list of what was in the Torah, about the full list of unclean. You know, shrimp is unclean to a Jew. You know that anything with shellfish is unclean to a Jew? It's in the Torah, right? So the fullest extent, the most cleanest dietary law that you could ever go by, if you really want to live a very clean lifestyle, it's actually found in the Torah and not in the Quran. This is what I've discovered as I've read. I also read, just like you didn't know the meaning of the temple, I'm going to explain what the meaning of the temple was. If you go back in the Torah, God commanded Moses to build a tabernacle. This tabernacle had 3 sections: a common place, a holy place, and the holies of holies. And there was a man appointed called a high priest. And there were other people from the line of Levi. This was one of the tribes, from the tribe of Moses' tribe, Aaron's tribe, where they were commanded to be responsible for bringing people back to God and teaching the people about God. One tribe was supposed to do that. And this tribe was responsible for all the things and the utensils. They had to clean it, make sure the temple was sacred. And they could not approach God without a sacrifice. And the Torah is very clear that without the shedding of blood, the atonement for sins is within the blood. This is what the Torah of Moses teaches. And in fact, the Quran wasn't even specific about the Passover. How many of you know the meaning of the Passover? As a Muslim, do you know what the meaning of the Passover is? No. I'm asking questions, so I'm work with my question. No. I'm very reasonable. I'm taking my own time, flying to Canada with my own money. The day that you pay me for my trip, then over $1,000 for my flight. Okay. Right. Okay. So listen to me. I'm being very reasonable. If you want to talk to me, don't hijack. Don't be another hijacker. Come on, man. You want to be another hijacker? But that's up to you. Did I put a gun to your head to force you?
No, but it's not.
But you're hijacking me.
This is speaker's corner.
But I'm trying to talk. You don't want people to be knowledgeable and taught. Did I say that? Did I say that? I'm teaching.
This is speaker's corner. It's a challenge. It's all a challenge.
I've been listening here, and I'm not
keep on going. Keep on going.
I agree with. I'm looking for the truth, and I'm here to for you to throw hijacking and fighting at me.
But you are hijacking.
I'm not.
You know what hijacking means? You know what the word hijacking means?
It's speaker's corner. Get used to it.
Taking over. Are you taking over my conversation? Then what are you doing?
I'm in your conversation.
You're interrupting.
I'm in your conversation.
No. I didn't ask you for a question.
Well, you can go if you don't like it. Speaker's corner.
Unbelievable, they can't get it.
You just came out.
Talking nonsense as well, man.
Thing
Thing is going on for 150 years and they're still...
I just want to say something. To me,
But I'm not listening.
To me, what you talked about...
But I'm not listening.
Hey, that's
because I'm talking.
Okay, if you're not listening...
If you're gonna, you know... No, I'm not being unreasonable because I'm reasoning and I never asked for your reason.
I just want to know...
I don't know you. Do I know you? But I don't know you.
You don't have to know nobody in
But
Speaker's
listen,
Corner.
I shook
People
your
just
hand. You're
start
interrupting my
talking.
conversation. With all due respect,
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
is I
asking
don't
for
know
your
you.
opinion.
I don't want to opinion.
Hey, you
All
ain't
due
gotta know
respect,
nobody,
I'm
bro.
talking to this group.
I just want to know...
And I'll tell you why I'm not answering you, because I'm talking.
No, I want to know why do you recommend for me? Why should I follow Jesus? Tell me, give me an advice.
You're changing my discussion.
I'm asking a question for God's sake. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm saying this on camera. This is ridiculous. I'm here wanting to learn, and I'm being told hijack.
If you want to learn, listen. If you really want to learn,
Why Jesus?
you don't want to learn.
If you don't like the rules of speaker's corner, you
What are the rules?
The rules are you.
What are the rules?
Are
Anybody.
The rules are you talk to me.
From what I learned in grade 1,
Don't want to talk to you.
The man is asking a question. The man is asking a question. The man is asking
That's
a
right,
question.
you know what? Sorry, man, I'm telling you. No. I actually, you know what, guys?
Exactly. We don't control his mouth. So let the man speak.
No, I have to finish what I. No.
Let the man speak. The speaker's going out.
You might be here for your own agenda.
I don't need my agenda.
So what do you want?
I want to know why Jesus.
What do you want?
I want to know why Jesus.
If you want to know Jesus, then listen
It's
to me.
true, actually. You are a hate
Keep
preacher.
listening to me.
You are a hate preacher because you're not listening. The man is asking
I'm
a
a hate
question.
preacher because I'm not
There you
listening.
are. Yeah. That proves what kind of
I'll
person
bring that to a court of law. I'm a hate preacher because I don't listen.
Hey, you've been talking for like 2 hours.
There's no way this is what you do.
Anybody has
Your imam is teaching you. Is this what you do? You don't do that.
No one's speaking to you. I asked the question. You don't just get
How many more?
And
I should be a rapper now.
I want to know why.
Listen, guys, I'm trying to share my story.
Why Jesus?
I'm trying to share my story.
Hey, we don't want no stories now. We want discussions. And we're trying to hear no stories. Everybody got stories. Hey, don't matter, man. Ask me anything.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, he's gonna respond. Hey, what's up, man? These guys don't want to talk at all. Doesn't matter. He asks questions. Hey, this is not a church, man. What do you mean preaching? This ain't no church. What's wrong with you? This is not a church. Go to a church. Sunday, what are you doing here anyway?
Everybody wouldn't know how many you interrupted me.
No, ask him a question. Why are you asking a question?
You're not allowed to speak.
No. He wants to finish.
Can you ask him when he finishes?
But you have to say this.
I'm here for those who want to.
I want to know. When would you finish?
I'm still talking and I don't have time.
Okay, basically, I'm
Ali Dawah, give them all the questions you got, man. Don't take no
This
strings.
is an attitude of a Muslim. Are you Muslim? Are you Muslim?
Because this Muslim, he asks questions. Nice try.
No. This Muslim doesn't believe in white This is his character. So what we're learning is we're learning the difference in character. I never came and interrupted any Muslim talking over this. I'm talking over here.
You don't have to go nowhere.
And Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's corner, everybody, that's
You know
what it
what
is.
people do?
Whatever
You
down
know what
here.
people do? When the teacher's teaching, you respect the teacher.
Okay, but look.
Okay, so you're the teacher.
Yo, this is
I need to see a debate between you two. I want to see what he's made of. And he has to debate. People get to debate. That this is his corner.
He has to debate himself. You guys want to fight yourself. I don't want to fight. I'm here sharing my story. You hijack.
We can only expose it. We can only expose it. Are you ready for questions?
hijacking some sort
Are you ready for questions?
Hijack. What's your name?
Yasin.
You seem a little.
Are you ready for questions?
You see what reason because you're quiet.
Yeah.
This guy
Are you ready for questions?
Respect.
Are you ready for questions? Is this you? Are you ready for
That's
questions?
me.
What did you say You're a bad Christian because you talk.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My question is, why do these people? Why do these? Yes, of course we know him. We know him. We know him. He said these people deliberately spread hatred against Muslims.
I got Muslims
They are known for that. They get paid for that, and that's why they don't answer questions. We know him. We know him.
No, you just
These
being brainwashed.
people. Whose phone is this? Mine. These people deliberately spread hate against Muslims. That's why they don't like to answer questions. We want a civilized discussion. He doesn't want to have it. They don't know how to have it. They don't know how to.
What is he saying?
There's a reason. There's a reason why this person doesn't want to talk to us. There's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason why he's walking away. Just remember, Lynn.
Hey, we can still get challenged. It's not your house.
He gets challenged, he runs away.
We can still get walking. We're not trusting. We're in the Speaker's Corner. We're gonna go every where you go?
I've seen him for about 4 years.
I watch his YouTube. I watch his YouTube channel.
We released a video today telling the Muslims to come down.
Wow, here we go. We got another hijacker. This is what we call harassment.
What are you scared of harassment? What are you scared of? What are you scared of? You don't
Look, man.
You don't want to be
Sir. With all due respect.
You know what's harassment? We're on the bike lane. This is for the bikes. Move. This is harassment. Bikes.
You know what? You know what, guys? Listen. If you want to learn, you said you want to learn, but you're a liar.
Respect the
You're a liar. You're a liar.
How do you lie?
You're a liar. I'm going to tell you why you're lying. You don't want to learn. You're not even listening. I can see your actions. I know your heart by your actions. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Listen, I'm talking. You're lying. You're lying. You know why you're lying? I just said it, and I'll say it again. You said you want to know about Jesus. You want to learn. You want to become a Christian.
No, I said I would.
You would. Okay, now I'm talking. But you're not listening. But guess what? I'm not done. So if you want to learn, listen. You said you want to learn from me. So then listen to me. I didn't say I want to learn from you. So I don't want to hear. So I don't want you to teach because you want me to teach you. So if you want to be taught by me, then listen. If you don't want to be taught from me, then shut up.
I said I will listen. When can I talk? He goes, when I finish. When I finish, he goes, I don't.
Do you actually want to learn?
Ask him a question at the end.
Give me your booking. Give me your booking. You got a book called Bart Ehrman, who's a clear guy that tries to debunk the Bible. Ex-Christian. So you're reading the book. You have your question. How often do you come to listen to this? How often do you come to speak this morning? A lot. So you've spoken with many Christians already. Okay, so you've heard everything that people could possibly say about Jesus. Okay. So if you don't know, then listen. Okay, then continue to listen. Listen, when I'm done. Listen, this is my teaching. I decided to teach this to you.
You should be allowed to speak to one. I can speak over.
According to speaker corners and rules, you can speak over. Listen, if you want to speak over people, then speak over yourself. Listen.
You're talking about etiquette. I don't have double standards that apply to me. Okay, there's double standards. You don't know what's going on. You just hear double standard etiquette. You know he's not allowing us to speak. Yeah, but we just.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
We want to hear
I
him
don't.
speak.
If you want to.
This is right. This is right.
Okay, guys. Look. If you guys want to hear me, I'm gonna go over there.
We're under the tree.
Let's go, man. David, over there. I like this place.
All right, guys. I'm just gonna finish my story here.
We're talking about Solomon's temple.
Yeah, I was talking about Solomon's temple. So for all of you that were listening and are interested in learning, listen, I can debate all day. You guys have tons of debates. We don't have something like this where all these little corners. And to be honest, London is a huge place. So many people preaching at the same place to people that don't want to learn. They don't want to grow. They don't even want Jesus. So I'm not really interested in that. You know what? If you really want to learn and have a real discussion because you actually do want to know God, I shared my story because I'm.
Can I interrupt you for 1 minute? No. You just listen to this. All in a minute. We can ask questions. So does anyone question?
Not right now.
No, listen, this is speaker's phone, my friend.
You know what? Hey guys, how many of you guys would be interested in me going on the sidewalk so I can use my amplifier? Because I don't know.
I'm just trying to, you know, you said something there, and then you talk about Jesus, and then you spoke about God.
We're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
It's not ignorant. What's ignorance about this? You want to listen? Did I shout after you? I'm asking him, did I shout after you?
You interrupted him. Listen to what he has to say. Ask him a question at the end. He's got a card. Take his card, then email him later, bro.
You know what? There's two types of people in the world.
Send him an email.
There's two types of people in the world. There are people.
I'm not Jamaican, I'm St. Lucian. But that doesn't mean nothing. I'm Muslim. That's who I am. I'm Muslim. That's it. It doesn't matter what I am. I'm Muslim.
You need to well, bro.
Okay. There's two types of people in the world. There are people that want to learn. There's people that don't want to learn.
Go ahead, speak first, my brother. You go. No, leave him. You go ahead, my brother.
Your wife's calling you, bro. Your wife's calling you. She's at home. Your wife's calling you, bro.
Just let him speak, then we're going to ask questions. Has he finished? Has he finished? Come on, let him speak.
You let them preach, bro.
You go ahead. And afterwards we ask questions on what you're gonna talk about, yeah? That's cool.
Okay. All right, guys, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I got a lot of people that love me, man, but I'm waiting for the right lady. I'm not interested in men.
What?
No offense, not you. Got a lot of guys, but listen, guys, listen. So we're going back to Solomon's temple. The Quran does not explain Solomon's temple. It doesn't explain why God gave or made a covenant with Israel. It doesn't explain exactly what that covenant is. How many of you know, as Muslims, I'm opening the floor here, how many Muslims know?
Somebody's opening the floor?
He just opening the floor. Don't you understand English?
The floor is open.
Give the brother a chance to. He ain't doing nothing.
How many Muslims know what the old covenant was with Israel? Okay, you don't know. Do you know that the Quran talks about a covenant with Israel? The Quran talks about a temple. The Quran talks about laws that were given to Israel. Does the Quran ever mention the 10 Commandments? This is the biggest thing to a Jew. There are so many missing details in the Quran, it would literally be impossible to really understand Abrahamic history, prophetic history, if you just went by the Quran alone. It would be impossible. Another thing.
He hasn't opened the floor.
Another thing.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Muslims are told that they need to believe in the Injil, the Torah, the Zabur. How many Muslims have actually read the Torah?
It doesn't exist. Good point. Simple question, it doesn't exist.
Hold on. So most of you haven't read the Torah, so you don't know what it says. But there's details that are missing in the Quran. Number one. How many of you have actually read the Zabur? Muslims. Not many. They've been taught that it doesn't exist. How many of you have actually read the Injil?
Doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist.
Consistency, you see?
So here's an interesting thing. You're taught to believe in something that doesn't exist. You're taught. Okay, I don't need the choir backing me up. Listen. So you have a religion that's taught to believe in something that doesn't exist.
It did exist at one point.
That did exist at one point, but it doesn't exist.
Context, please.
Okay, we got Mr. 2 cents.
Nice no blows. 2 cents. Yeah, not nice blows.
Okay, 3 cents.
Deal with the
pence. Sorry, you guys don't have cents. You have pence. 1 pound.
1 pound, please.
Okay, bro, but listen. I don't need your help.
Don't you see that you causing the problem?
No.
Okay.
Because listen to this.
Now we
Do
see
you
the real
listen to me
side.
now? You talking, he's talking, but you answering him. But then it hurts you so much. He's answering you back. You don't like it. So just leave him and then you talk.
Ignore him.
Because ignore him. Just ignore him. Yeah.
Where are these books?
Good. And after you're gonna come in.
Okay,
Just let
so
him speak.
the Quran has missing elements in it that don't allow you to even understand history. And it leaves you ignorant. And in fact, what I've seen a lot, and I'm not accusing every Muslim to be a part of ISIS or not, so don't get me wrong, but what I see a lot on the news, and maybe it's false news, but I see them destroying a lot of historical artifacts in the name of what they believe, their version of Islam. Now, whether it's the true version or not the true version, I don't know. It's not the point. Not every Muslim is a part of ISIS, okay? Make that clear. But they're destroying historical artifacts and they don't give you the history to understand what they truly believe. And so, what that tells me is that I need something more than the Quran in order to substantiate my faith. In fact, what I learned from the Quran is this, is that it's supposed to confirm that which came before. It's supposed to confirm, according to the Quran, that which was between their hands. It's supposed to confirm it. And I've read many ayahs in the Quran, there's so many of them, at the time of Jesus, where it was said that this message that I have confirms that which is within my hands, which was the Torah, which was the Tanakh, which is Zabur. If you understand anything to do with Jewish history, they had a compilation of books that composed of the prophets, the writings, and the law. This is where we get the acronym or the word Tanakh. Okay, this is what we have, the Old Testament. So at the time of Jesus, according to the Quran, there was actually the real Bible. So Jesus, according to the Quran, this is what I understand, believed that the Torah and the Zabur were intact at his time. And this is according to the Quran. So the argument that a revelation comes after to replace the old one, but the old one is corrupt and that's why the new one came, that's not even true according to the Quran. According to my reading of the Quran. Now sometimes when I read it in English, some people say, well, I didn't read the Quran. But yet, if you go to any masjid or any Islamic bookstore, they give you an English Quran. So how in the world am I supposed to believe in a book that doesn't translate itself to modern day languages? If it's not worthy enough to be translated into modern day languages, then I could never understand it. It would take me literally 4 years to be saved.
What about the language of the Bible?
Can you give us an example?
Is the Bible in English? Oh no, it's not. Exactly.
All right, man.
We need
Listen,
references.
man. Listen.
I know. You just want to talk without.
Of course I want to talk.
Your brother agrees with you that the Bible is a translator also.
All the books have been translated, all of them.
Your brother.
Now you're taking
So
off me in the
it's
middle
going to take me another
Stay on topic, brother.
100 years.
Stay on topic.
This is on topic.
No, him.
This is a topic that you don't like.
to know the Bible.
He's using the conditions of the Quran, which the Bible. He's shooting himself in the foot.
And your brother disagree with that.
Am I allowed to shoot myself in the foot?
Go ahead, brother.
Like I said, I'm a man of truth. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to hijack.
Why do you keep using that?
Because you're hijacking.
No, I'm not.
No,
You're
he's not.
hijacking the park.
I'm there to protect you. He can't.
You're
do that.
hijacking the park and
Okay.
saying I will speak and nobody
All right,
can talk.
man. It's hard.
Are you gonna do that? Run away again.
You're upsetting now. Where you guys going?
You want to engage or you want to
Since it's a small group, I'm going to just amplify myself.
There we go. We're running away again.
I'm just going to amplify myself a little bit in this small group. So that at least it's here.
Oh, by the way, that's not allowed in speakers.
You want to hear me or no? You want to hear me or not? Okay, so are you going to let me speak? Or do I have to move again?
Are you going to let me speak?
No, I'm not going to let you
Let me speak. Can you imagine this?
I'm not going to let you speak.
Okay, thank you. Now let's talk about it, yeah?
No, listen to this. Just leave him. Leave him. He's ignorant.
You know, when I meet forceful people, they usually abuse their wives.
Here we go now.
Forceful people usually beat people up.
Fight.
Forceful people like to fight.
No blows.
Forceful people don't have respect.
My American brother, you gotta be careful what you say.
I'm not careful what I say. I tell the truth. Listen, I'm a street preacher and I say the truth. Forceful people love to beat their wives. Forceful people control their wives. Forceful people cause fights. Forceful people have problems with others.
Even this ugly man went on the mad one.
You know what? Let's go to the getting out of speakers.
Running away. Let's go. Running away.
Exactly.
Like I guy look like a little boy to you?
He even made the a good guy. Look how he made the good guy.
This man don't even know me. You telling the man about abusing his wife. Eh? You little preacher man. Telling the man about the abusing his wife. Have no respect for the man. And you fool telling me. Listen to me, man. He said people like this because the man was talking to you. Don't you understand English? That's what I'm saying. You know what? That's what you are people face. When you are coming in Africa, I'm telling you, people like I grew up with Muslims. I grew up.
We can install.
Doesn't share the details of the temple, doesn't share the details of the covenant. It doesn't explain things. So it would be literally impossible for me to even know historical data and facts of Judaism, of Christianity, by the Quran alone. And that's why, and this is a clear reason why you see in Surah chapter 10 verses 93 and 94, it says, Muhammad, O Muhammad, if you're in doubt concerning anything revealed therein, ask, let me say that word, ask the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians. Why would God, listen, I don't know about you, but if I was a father and I had children, I would not tell my children to go to the crack addict down the road for medicine to cure his flu. I wouldn't do that. You know why? Because he's not a licensed doctor. He's not a licensed pharmacist. In fact, what he might sell.
You know what? That goes for everyone.
Your name is Christine. If I said, you know what, if I said, you know what, Christine is an easy person, and you want to play your position, you're like, no, you can't speak. I haven't finished. And every time I speak, and you want to, and I'm like, no, you can't finish. That's injustice. Because that's what that means. I'm going to propagate false information about you.
No, that's fine. And that's
what he's doing. Islam that. Can we clarify? No, shut up. This is corner, man. This doesn't happen here. Not here. Not here.
But you said that you want to learn.
You know,
you said that you've listened to a lot of Christians, a lot of preachers, but he's a
I want to learn to somebody that.
So you said you want to learn. So you said if you want to learn, I knew where he was going and where he was going to end. The question you asked was at the end.
He said,
because you would have answered your question.
No, I said, can I ask? He goes, no. I'm speaking.
Because you stood there nicely listening, and then you spoiled the whole thing.
Let me tell you something. We speak to the worst of Christians. It's not all of them are saying. They even allow us to speak. For God's sake, he's saying, no way.
But that's his terms.
No. That's his terms. This is his terms. That's his terms. Half an hour. He's not he's saying, I'm going to talk. I can ask a question. He goes, no. So basically, listen. And by the way, I'm going now. This is right. No, not in the park. Not in the park. We have a right to speak over him.
He just wants to preach, though.
No, let him preach. I want to preach. What about me? I want to preach.
Yeah, so then you preach, you get your corner.
No. I preach over his.
Yeah, but he's not always going to listen to him. When he's talking about.
We need more speakers corners around the world. It's awesome. I learned so much today. Speaker corners rocks.
Hello, I just want to explain what's happening behind me. I'm Sadat Anwar. I'm here at Hyde Park Speakers Corner, where every Sunday Muslims and Christians come together to discuss, talk, and debate. But behind me, there's another gentleman from Toronto. His name is Pastor David Lynn. He not only opposes Islam, but he goes on right-wing news channels like Sun News Media and things like this, scaremongering against Muslims. In Toronto, he shows up at Muslim festivals. He's outside with a megaphone or a speaker, and he's preaching against Islam. He's promoting Christianity and so forth. So I noticed that he's visiting London as well. He came here to Speaker's Corner. So I was hoping that now, since he's always ready to debate people in Toronto on the streets, what he does on the streets is he usually has a microphone and he says, can any Muslim explain to me how come Jesus is the only prophet who didn't die? How come he's the only one who's coming at the end of times? And then he stops some kind of casual Muslim tourist, usually some Arab who can't speak English properly. He lets him say a few words on the mic, and then he comes back on and says, see, the Muslim can't answer the question. He can't even answer this. So I was expecting that now he had an opportunity to debate with the Muslim brothers here at Speaker's Corner, but he did no such thing. He came, he just kind of said hello. Every time he saw one of the known debaters like Hamza, like Hashim, he would just say, hello, nice to meet you. Yeah, I'll talk to you later on, and he would move on. So Hashim challenged him to a debate. And I was there. I saw David Lynn say, sure, I'm going to come back. I'm just walking around the park. I'm going to come back. He hasn't come back. I don't imagine that he's coming back now. It looks like he's going to be leaving after that. And if he does come back, then there'll be plenty of cameras that would catch him debating with Hashim. Adnan Rashid challenged him to a debate. That you guys have on the video. Adnan was asking him to debate. He absolutely refused. So my point is that in Toronto, when he's unchallenged on the streets, he stops any Muslim. Anytime a hijabi walks by, he asks questions about Islam, and he wants to debate with them. But now that he had the opportunity to debate with Muslim debaters there at Speaker's Corner, suddenly, oh no, I'm not here to debate. I just want to preach my testimony. I just want to preach about Christ. But if you go and listen to him, he's not preaching about Christ. He's still talking about Islam. He's still talking about why the Quran doesn't make sense and Prophet Muhammad doesn't make sense, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so forth. So it just shows you how disingenuous some of these missionaries are. He's ready to debate every week on the streets in Toronto, but now he has an opportunity to debate. There's a park full of Muslims willing to debate him, waiting to debate him, and he's gone outside of the park and he's now preaching on the sidewalk.
So basically, he picks on weak Muslims.
He picks on the weak Muslims, and now when he had an opportunity to debate with Muslims who are who are used to debating, he literally refused to do it. I mean, he was surrounded by Muslims. He refused to do it, and if I know him well, I suspect that he will put a video up of it as well, but it'll be titled Muslim Mob Attacks.
Yeah, he will chop it, will he edit it and stuff?
Muslim Mob attacks Christians. So I would ask you to not put the video up right away. First see what he puts up. His version will be Muslim Mob Attacks. Then you can put up the true version, which is Adnan almost begging him to debate, but he refused to debate.
Yeah. So you know him personally, so it's not as if, like it's not anyone like general out of the blue. He does this.
Yeah, a known Islamophobe in Toronto. He preaches on the street. And it's funny when I went now and I pointed out to him that how come you're not ready to debate now? Because in Toronto, you're ready to debate with women, with hijabis, with people who can't speak English. Now you had a chance to speak and to debate with Muslims who speak English. You should be looking forward to this. He just responded by saying, I know this guy, he's talking about me. He said, I know this guy's a hate monger. He's calling me a hate monger, and he preaches against Christianity, which we never do that. At our Dawah stall, we never do that. If somebody comes and asks us, something about God or Trinity or this or that, we explain the differences, but we don't have a microphone preaching against Christianity. You could probably go there now. Probably, my bet is, I could be wrong, he'll still be talking about Islam right now. So it's very strange that he would have accused me of preaching against Christianity. I've just done those 3-4 formal debates. That's not preaching against Christianity. That's not hate mongering. Those were formal, disciplined debates. But what he's doing is like this, and he purposely goes to places where he's unchallenged.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in Toronto, even if you go to a Muslim festival, you'll be unchallenged because the Muslims there somehow are not kind of as sturdy as the brothers here. So he had the chance to debate and he didn't do it. So it just shows you how disingenuous he is.
Ran away.
Yeah.
Ran away. Jazakallah, brother.